This week's race of the week was from the British Kart Championships from GYG in North Wales and the Senior X30 class. A hotly contested class all weekend came down to the Sunday final, where rain on the formation lap made for a tricky and interesting race with drama on the last lap. Sit back, relax and enjoy this week's race of the week.
27 strong field as we are hearing in our ears that rain is starting to fall here in North Wales. Here we go for the round 4 final. We're green on our screen and away we go for 12 minutes plus 1 lap. Good start for Freddie Lloyd immediately into the lead of this race. Gus Lawrence slots into P2. How much grip is up there at the top of the circuit? Into Spoon they go. It's looking pretty good for the seniors. Aaron Brown right in the centre of things there in the number 7 Vismo International machine. Down into Carousel, it's Lloyd, Lawrence, Whitacombe, your 1, 2, 3.
Well, it's been out of Lloyd and Lawrence all day, but Whitacombe is looking strong so far within the early stage of this race, almost completing lap number 1. Lawrence then in second, chasing down Lloyd. I think within this race, if he wants to grab the race win from Lloyd, he needs to roll the dice, but can he land on a number 1? 0.4 of a second has Lloyd grabbed himself from Lawrence. Whitacombe is in there in third, then Harrison Mackie is still in fourth. Powell, the rookie driver, still sat there in fifth. No progress just yet, but watch him because he's come into this with a bit of a fresh face, a fresh mindset, a driver that's not got anything to lose necessarily. Stilp is in the fight as well. He's in your top 10. Gabriel Stilp, a driver who's had so much success in Junior X30, left the British Kart Championship paddock briefly to go and do a Formula 4 campaign, but has returned as a senior and is in the sharp end of your field.
We're going to hit further down the order. Lewis Bird up 4 places into 12th place. Likewise for Cameron Edmonds, meaning he's now in 16th as Morgan Moore fighting through there. Oh, now that could have been a big moment. Off goes Joey Brown. Now was that with Tristan Powell. Joey Brown, he is wearing a Mackie suit of Mackie years previous in Fusion Motorsport colours. I think we've got some more info though from Piers Pryor. Piers, what have you got for us?
It's getting steadily heavier and heavier with the rainfall. I wouldn't quite call it rain yet, it's still a mist, but it's gone from mental rain to a rain that'll actually affect the track surface now.
Yeah, I'd agree. The lap times are into the high 42s, which is, a good degree slower than what they were doing in time of qualifying earlier on this morning. Joey Brown falls down the order. He's going to be outside the top 20, I think, here after that moment on the Dragon Straight. Tristan Powell has dropped outside the top 10 as a result of whatever happened there. Jack Buckley now up 4 places into the top 6. The mist is continuing to hand down on the drivers here at Glan-y-gors. This is a final that you cannot take your eyes off, because if the weather continues to close in, it could be all about survival out there around this 1.1 kilometre circuit. There is your race leader, Freddie Lloyd from Gus Lawrence, the runner-up in last year's champion versus the king of British X30 seniors. And Gus has just put in the fastest lap of the race, 41.92. Is this when the charge from the PF International karting machine starts to arrive? It's the battle of the Harrisons once again. Whitacombe there with the bright red helmet ahead of Harrison Mackie with the purple and white. 2 drivers who know each other very well, have come up through the ranks together, raced each other a lot last year in the junior competitions, have both been fantastic in their debut seasons for the senior category, but neither of them want to be playing second fiddle in this battle for the last spot on the podium. Nicole, Sutherland, 5 laps down, tension continuing to rise. 5
laps down, and by the way the lap times are going in, the rain isn't affecting things too much just yet, Andrew, but these are conditions for drivers that are so difficult. If you don't push enough, you're going to drop temperature in the tyre and you're going to lose pace to the driver behind you. If you push too much and then the rain starts coming down even more, you're going to find yourself in a spot of bother, as Piers Pryor has got more intel for us.
I think this rain that's falling is forming a bit of a dry line. Harrison Mackie just missed his turning points the last corner on that last lap, ran wide and nearly went off, as we've now got a battle for the lead. I'll hand back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Piers. Yes, indeed, Gus Lawrence is really putting Freddie Lloyd under a lot of pressure now, and here comes Freddie Lloyd's teammate for Premium Karting, Harrison Whitacombe, up the Dragon Straight. If there is a dry line formed by the fact that they're continuing to hit the normal racing line. The rain is following elsewhere. That's going to make overtaking very, very tricky indeed. Look how much Freddie Lloyd is backing up the field now. It's not 2 karts in this fight for the lead. It's 5 and growing. Gabe still has joined the party there in the 3:42 for Croc Promotion. Harrison Whitcomb has a think of going down the inside of Gus Lawrence for second place. Thinks better of it. This has been a much better run for Whitcomb today than 24 hours ago. Of course, he had that marvellous weekend at Warden Law where he clean swept all of the championship points. Up the hill once again, Freddie Lloyd, I've got to say, Nicole, is doing a brilliant job here. Cool and calm again in the cool conditions under all of this pressure. This is magnificent defensive driving.
This is composure from Lloyd to be driving around with so much talent right on his back bumper, right in his shadow. As down the inside goes Harrison Whitcomb. And Gus Lawrence, then your number 1, doesn't just lose 1 position, he loses 2 because Harrison Mackie is right in there as well. It's a battle between the Harrisons once more. As down the inside on Whitcomb goes Mackie. Mackie then, the Fusion driver, is now your driver in second. Lawrence still on the fight. He's pushing Harrison Whitcomb once more, as it looks like Lewis Bird is also trying to have a look at Gus Lawrence. Now, it all really went wrong for Lawrence within this one, but what has happened then, Andrew Mather, fast Fred Lloyd has been gifted a bit of a saving grace from this pack behind him because it's 0.7 of a second he now leads from.
Yeah, that could be the key for him. We've seen it in several senior races so far this year across the different categories of these Rear Tools British Kart Championships. The tactic of just holding yourself, measuring yourself, backing the field up, let them all scrap for second place. That's the point at which you bolt away. Freddie Lloyd has executed that, whether it was part of his plan or not. He's executed it brilliantly. It's now his very good friend Harrison Mackie, previously both in the Fusion Motorsport awning. Freddie Lloyd made the change earlier this season into the premium karting awning because he wants to be back on an OTK chassis. The results from that chassis delivered yesterday. The Kart Republic of Harrison Mackie now chasing down the race leader down the hill once again, pulling the rest of the field with him. Whitcomb still there in third. 5 minutes to go in this one. One of the times like 41.77 for Freddie Lloyd. Doesn't sound particularly quick, but with the rain continuing to be in the air, that is a magnificent lap time for Freddie Lloyd right when he needed it. Stretching his lead now to 0.9 of a second almost. Down the hill once again. There's been a change. No, there's not been a change. That's a little error on timing. Gus Lawrence is still there in 4th place. The bright orange helmet, the reigning British champion. Bit further down the order, who's making good progress? Thomas Min Spearing's up 6 places to P9. Lewis Bird's all of a sudden in the picture. We talk about this being a roller coaster circuit. What a roller coaster weekend it's been for Lewis Bird. He's now back in the fight, Nicole, for a potential podium.
Freddie Lloyd, though, still driving out there in the front with surgical precision. Let's not forget, with the light rain that's going round on the circuit, Lloyd is the first driver to hit that. He's not got a train of karts to clean the water off the racing line for him. So actually, he's in a bit of a difficult boat out there alone, but he's handling it well because he's not dropped that 7/10 lead he's got from Mackie. Mackie still there in second, has got a little bit of breathing room from the likes of Whitcomb, who darts his head over his shoulder to see what the gap is to Gus Lawrence, who's now under pressure by Lewis Bird out of the final corner. Has Lewis Bird made that move stick? I think he has, and now it's a 12th place gain for Bird for the BMR team. Piers Pryor's down there once more, and we've got more information.
Yeah, just so you know, guys, the rain has actually stopped. It stopped about a lap and a half ago. It's still just as gloomy, but I think those times are coming down a little bit due to that rain easing off.
Well, there we go then. We discussed whether or not Fred Lloyd would be in that difficult position, but he's being gifted a bit of a saving grace once more now that the rain is being held off. These drivers head back down the hill again, and now it's Stilp that has capitalised and overtaken Gus Lawrence. Gus said he changed a few things before the final, and I don't think those changes has helped the number 1 because he's lost 4 places and is now outside of your top 6, and that has lost him position now as well within your virtual championship, Andrew.
Yeah, big thanks to Ian Rogers and the Motorsport Dash Timing team there in timekeeping have provided us with those live championship scores. Whitcomb still your championship leader, but only by 6 points from Freddie Lloyd. So Freddie Lloyd, who is I think by my calculations 5 points down on Gus Lawrence at the start of the day, has turned that 5-point deficit around and now leads over the reigning champion by 6 points. Harrison Mackie still in there as well, 456. Gabriel still 446. This once again is a class that I anticipate will run and run and run all the way to the finale at Wilton Mill. You cannot take your eyes off it, and including in this final, 2 minutes to go. Senior X30s still running brilliantly. Gotta say, in these tricky conditions, we've only had one retirement, and I'm not even sure if it was a retirement. I think it's CJ Bennett may have just not got going at the start of this race. This has been magnificent driving from all of them, but particularly from Harrison Mackie. Harrison Mackie is starting to turn the pace at the front of the field. He did a 41.61 last time around. He's taken another chunk of time out of his good friend Freddie Lloyd on that lap. That was a 41.57. Fast Freddie has got to respond now. He's got to hold off this charge of Harrison Mackie. Mackie, who made that big breakthrough in senior competition in Zwarer a few weeks ago. But this is arguably even more difficult here in the Rear Tools British Kart Championships. These drivers know each other so well. They've driven against each other for so many years. But Mackie is charging here, Nicole. He is scything through to take that lead potentially from Freddie Lloyd. He is 1 kart length, 2 kart lengths behind. 2 laps to go, maybe 3 laps actually. I think it'll be 3 laps to go. That's not good news if you're Freddie Lloyd. You need this race to finish now. There's the point from Harrison Mackie. He indicates to his friend, keep going. Keep eyes forward, because Whitcomb and Bird, they're not far behind.
Well, now Freddie Lloyd has fallen into the hands of Mackie, who signals once more, because Harrison Whitcomb is not far behind him. Up the hill they go as we've got more retirements coming into Parc Ferme. That's Cameron Edmonds, who is out of the race. Mackie charges down the hill. He does not want to let Fred Lloyd slip through his fingers, but he's now got to think about the other Harrison on the circuit, who is now right behind him. 0.2 of a second, goes up to 0.3 of a second now. So Lloyd has pushed a little bit harder and goes a tenth faster than Mackie on that previous lap. Up the hill they go once more through that flat 90-degree right, where these drivers physically will be really struggling on this stage of the race. And now the battle of the Harrisons is on again, because Mackie's no longer thinking about your race leader of Fred Lloyd. He's thinking about your man in third, which is Harrison Whitcomb, who looks over his shoulder at Lewis Bird, because Lewis Bird is right now, and the fight for third position, Andrew Mather, is on.
It looks like the lap times are starting to die off a bit. They're back into the 42s. Harrison Mackie maybe struggling a little bit here as we go onto the final lap here in North Wales. Freddie Lloyd's lead is back up to 0.8 of a second. Harrison Whitcomb points forward to Harrison Mackie to say, don't defend, keep going, keep up the road. There's a big scrap between Gabriel Stilp and Lewis Bird. They've had a couple of dancers so far this weekend. Stilp wins that one, is up to P4. Stilp down the inside, oh, contact with Whitcomb. Round goes the Welshman, and the chances of a podium here at GYG have gone. That is a dramatic moment for the championship leader, but Freddie Lloyd is going to do the double out of the final corner. What a performance for premium karting. Freddie Lloyd wins again at GYG. Harrison Mackie's P2. Lewis Bird on the line takes third ahead of Gabriel Stilp. Gus Lawrence completes the top 5. That, of course, will be a provisional result, but we have a new championship leader